guys. It was a great day out there, nice and warm like we wanted. As usual, the guys had great energy and were excited to get out there. Pads were popping, and they've been focused. And they don't think about the outside noise. I know a lot of questions are going to come about that. All we can do is focus on us and control what we can control. The guys got the right mindset and started meetings this morning into walkthrough and then meetings again this afternoon. They're just as excited as ever. We're treating this like a normal training camp, no different, and progressing forward. And looking forward to playing on the 5th.
Terry Davis.
How you doing, Coach?
Good, Terry. How are you?
All right. One good thing you got from practice, one bad thing you got from practice.
The good thing was that, the guys brought the energy. I knew it would be hot out there, and that's one of those things we've got to do it. And that's one of the reasons why we decided to do afternoon practices during training camp. As you guys know, when school starts next Monday, it's here less than a week away, we'll be doing morning practices. So we need to find a way to get in the heat. We had, most of our guys were excited to get out there and compete. We had a few guys that, these younger guys that need to step up and mature. That was one of the problems with, some of these newcomers that came in January, not having the spring practices and understanding the way we do things and our culture. And I've got to do a better job of implementing that. And then some of our freshmen just got to grow up and understand to push through some things. And that's part of training camp. I told these guys today, today's practice was no different than what an in-season practice would look like. We need to continue to push.
Brian Moss.
Hey, Coach. How you doing?
Good, Brian. How are you?
Not too bad. If you could talk about the defensive line, how do you think they're coming along?
Yeah, really excited. I think when they play, they roll. JoJo Dorcius, Mo Joseph. We really like that group up there. Brian Goodson. I feel like we got depth, and I mentioned that the other day. This is the most depth we've had on our defense, and I've seen that defensive line. We've been able to add some other bodies there, which is exciting. I think those guys, we're going to have a good rotation, but, predominantly based out of a 3-down front. Coach Kyle Pope has done a wonderful job of teaching those guys. He uses the term fast and violent. We're able to see that so far. And they're giving our O-line fits, and really proud of their effort and their work. And I think we'll see the best defensive line we've seen since we've been here at Memphis. Obviously, that's no disrespect to the players that came before, because we had a lot of great defensive linemen here. But I just think we've got the depth where we want it up front.
Jason Munns.
Hey, Ryan, how are you?
Good, Jason. How are you?
I'm good. Tired. Seems like today everybody's got something to say. Everybody's weighing in on what's going on. You got the Mountain West formally making their announcement that they are not playing, and then you've got individual schools. Old Dominion announced their cancellation. I know that you're preaching, controlling what we can control and trying to avoid the outside noise, but that can't be easy, right? That cannot be easy with everything that's going on.
Sure. You're right. I'm not burying my head in the sand, and we're not doing that as a program either. Look, we're very transparent with our guys. In fact, I discussed it last night at a team meeting, shortly after our media session yesterday, and we discussed it. And I even discussed it with the group this morning. And it's not easy, but that's the only thing we can do is focus. And if we vary off from that, you're right, we will be distracted and we won't have clean practices. That'll allow for injuries. That'll allow for people not being where they need to be mentally in meetings. And so every single day, every single thing we do, we're pushing focus on the task at hand. I'm encouraging our coaches to put their cell phones down and try to avoid social media to the best of our abilities, and sure, we're getting the outside questions and we understand what's going on in the landscape of college football, but we're going to continue to pour into our team every single day, like I said, until they tell us we can't. And at the end of the day, we just got to keep moving forward, and the focus won't change. We're planning on playing the 5th, and I get it, right? I'm not trying to be oblivious to what's occurring, and it certainly is not easy, but I even said we've got to be ultra positive, with everything we do. The fine thing is that I believe is our players believe the exact same way, and they're laser focused. And, you're going to start seeing that hashtag, right? We want to play. And I can't speak for all of our team, but I believe the majority of our guys are excited about the season.
Terry Davis.
Hey, Coach, you return a lot of depth and experience on the defensive side. what should be the best part of the defensive unit? The DBs, the linebackers, the linemen. What should be the strength of the defensive unit?
Yeah, you're exactly right. We do have a lot of depth, and I've been, like I said yesterday, I think our defense as a whole has the most depth since we've been here, and that's credit to Coach Norvell and those coaches that came before us for doing a wonderful job recruiting. But the players there are working really hard. I like our secondary. We got a lot of depth there, right? I mean, I don't think you can sit here and say these got to be our 2 starting safeties and our 2 starting corners, and that's what we're living in. I think we got guys that can rotate there. The depth at linebacker, right? We got a lot of upperclassmen. It's a really veteran group there. I think we'll have a great rotation at linebacker, at inside and outside backer, and then, like I just mentioned about the defensive line, I think we got a great rotation there. So, Terry, I really just can't sit here and point and say, hey, one group's better than the other, or we're going to do something. I do like the veteran savvy that we have at especially the linebackers and the defensive backfield, and I think it'll pay dividends down the road.
Jason Munz.
Couple of questions real quick. What did you think of Brady's did that didn't catch you off guard or anything? No surprises there that he was sort of involved in the drafting of that proposal that was put out by the American players, and then just the whatever it is, whatever discussions are being had at the university level, at the conference level, are you apprised of those? Are people keeping you in the loop?
Sure. First off, we all know that Brady White's such a mature young man, and him and I constantly have conversations about everything outside the football realm as well. And he brought that to me, and we discussed it earlier today. And that's the nice thing is he's mature enough to bring it to me and say, Coach, what do you think about this? And I read it over, and I believe that I have the right to support him as a player, and he has the right to support and speak for most of our players on their behalf. And a lot of our conference, obviously Brady White's a guy that's well respected throughout the country, especially in our conference and on our team. So we discussed it. He's discussed with some other players. I also had the conversations with Laird Beach, and we're very supportive of our guys. And if they want to play and we can do so in a safe and healthy environment, then we'll try to do our best to play football. And I'll support Brady and the rest of our guys and fight with them to do what's best in their interest and try to play football this year. And then I've been having a lot of conversations with Laird Beach every day. A lot of respect for our administration and our conference. I talk to those guys in our conference quite often. And ultimately, President Rudd and Laird and those guys, the powers that be, will have the final say, along with our conference and what we're doing moving forward. But I've got nothing but faith in them. They're going to make the best decision for our football program. Obviously, they'll have my full support one way or the other, but they know where I stand and how we feel about how badly we want to play this season.
Steven Johnson.
Hey, Coach, how's it going?
Good, Steven. How you doing?
Doing okay. Just wanted to ask you real quick, what have you just kind of seen from TJ Carter? We talked to him yesterday. He had some pretty lofty goals, and obviously I think he's going to be one of the best defensive backs on the team. So what can you kind of just tell me about the offseason he's had?
Yeah, TJ is a young man that I've known for over 5 years, right? I recruited him out of Nashville really since the day I got to Memphis, and I have nothing but respect for him. Anybody that knows TJ Carter knows how much he loves the game of football. He's so passionate about it. He studies the game. He cares about it. He's probably out there on the field right now doing some extra work and reps. That's just the type of young man he is. He's been a phenomenal player, leader, and young man. But I'm glad he has lofty goals, and rightfully so. The one thing about him is when he sets his goals, he usually matches them and beats them. And he's a young man that I know that will continue to do great things on the football field and will have a lot of success. And he's done well out there. It's nice seeing him and Coxie go head-to-head almost every single day. You got two competitors battling out on the field. Every ball's contested. They're getting after it. He's going to show up in the run game as well and do the things he needs to do. But he's the leader of our defense. I'm darn glad we got him.
Brian Moss.
Hey, Coach, about recruiting, not asking about anyone in particular, but what's the major difference from recruiting as an assistant coach now that you're a head coach? Is there anything different that you do differently?
I just got to continue to have those relationships with different players at our position. You know, the one thing about being a position coach, I still had a region that I recruited. So it wasn't like I was just only recruiting offensive line the whole time. But really what I've had to do is try to build a relationship with, you know, our guys and our recruits all over the country and be in contact with them and have different understanding of their family dynamics, their interests, their goals, their needs. And the nice thing is that the product will sell itself at the University of Memphis. But I've just got to be more hands on deck with more people. We've got full understanding of our recruiting board from top down. That's one of those things. We've got a great recruiting department that continues to assist me to make sure what we're doing moving forward is in our best interest of our program and our culture. But other than that, it really hasn't changed much. As I've said before, the recruiting is the lifeline, the lifeblood of our program, and we'll continue to push hard with that.